Good morning. My name is Dorothea Shiningayamwe, and I'm going to be a tutor for Curriculum Theory and Practice B, subject code BEd Ctb22, Bachelor's in Education Honors Degree, Examination-Based Contact Class, January 2018. The presenter, Dorothea Etuete Shiningayamwe. Welcome to the module of Curriculum Theory and Practice B. In this presentation, I will discuss some of the content covered in your study guide to help you in preparation for the upcoming exam. Kindly please just note that this presentation is entirely for the exam but not for the assignment. Please note that I will not give attention to the whole document or to the whole content as outlined in the module. However, for any queries, please contact or send me an email. My contact numbers and my email appears at the end of the presentation. Before you study, familiarize yourself with the learning outcome found at the beginning of the learning unit. You need to relax, chair down, and just go through the learning outcome found at the beginning of the learning unit. If you go back to your module, you are going to see that in every topic or in every study guide, there is what we call the learning outcome. What are you expected to know, or what are you expected to understand at the end of the module? Pay attention to the learning activities and practice them. In your study guide, there are learning practice, there are learning activities. Learning activities, they are more like exercise or learning tips. So please pay attention to them, practice them, go through them. Only study your study guide for your exams and study all the units in the module in preparation for the exams. Study only in your study guide. However, you are free for reasoning purposes. You are free to contact any other sources. However, you must be able to concentrate on your study guide for your exams and study all the units in the module in preparation for the exams. Briefly, this module, what is the Curriculum Theory and Practice B module all about? This module will inform you on curriculum-related matters in the Namibian context, and it also helps you to critically scrutinize current issues in the education sector in finding solutions to issues, curriculum development and design, including the implementation and the evaluation of the curriculum. Upon the completion of this module, you should be able to analyze Namibian curriculum implementation issues, how the implementation of curriculum, how does the implementation of curriculum occur, who plays a role, what are the challenges and opportunities, what support do we get from the government, what should we do to compete with the global world in terms of how, who, and what are the challenges and opportunities. Explain the role of educator in the curriculum development and implementation. We are all aware that in implementing a curriculum, there are stakeholders involved. There are educators, there are teachers, there are learners, there are parents. Now, what is the role of the educators in the curriculum development and implementation? What do educators have to do for effective implementation? What do teachers, principals, school inspectors, what do they need to do for effective implementation? Issues of salaries, provision of support to both teachers and learners. You should also be able to give details on the evaluation of curriculum programs. How do we know we are progressing? How do we know that the curriculum that we are following is progressing, is doing well, is effective, is earning, it's producing some fruitful results? Identify solutions to challenges in curriculum implementation. Now, you should be able to identify the challenges and the solutions also. If you, for instance, you say in the curriculum development or in the curriculum implementation, some of the challenges are maybe textbooks. Now, what are you thinking? What should we do to address that challenge? What solution should we come up with in addressing the curriculum implementation? And what should be done to address challenges of unqualified teachers, lack of resources, textbook, stakeholders' involvement, etc.? So briefly, these are the five mentioned points are the learning outcome for the module. The unit. This module covers 5 units, which slowly introduce you to the analysis of the Namibian curriculum implementation, as I've earlier mentioned, the role of educators in this process, the models in designing and implementing thinking skills program in the upper primary, the evaluation and issues affecting the implementation of this program. Therefore, it's very important that you need to understand, define, and explain the concept of curriculum development as a core subject theme. As at the beginning, we have been talking about curriculum implementation, curriculum evaluation, curriculum effective implementation. Now, briefly, can we please maybe define what is curriculum development? What do you understand by the concept of curriculum development? What is curriculum itself? So curriculum is the regulation for teaching, learning, and assessment that gives directions to planning, organizing, and implementing teaching and learning. It formulates the syllabus, its learning materials, and textbook to be used in various subjects and the areas of learning. Curriculum is a very important document for teachers and educators. It's the basis for the content delivered to the learner, teachers, to decide what topics are to be taught, including a class, a time, a grade, and others involved. Remember, it's a regulation, it's a procedure, it's kind of a law that facilitates the process of teaching, the process of learning and assessment. It also gives directions to planning in terms of when is the semester starting, organizing, when is the school starting, when is the school ending, how long should be the semester, how long should be the class period, and other issues in implementing teaching and learning. Now, other key modules that you need to look at for you to understand issues related to curriculum development, please, you need to pay attention to the following concept as part of other key issues in this module. Unfortunately, I'm not going to give a clear definition on each, but please pay attention to them for you to kind of get another clear understanding on the concept of curriculum. What is interdisciplinary? Issues of cross-cultural teaching, character education, purpose of assessment. Remember, in the definition of curriculum, I've mentioned that part of the regulation, it's also regulating assessment. Now, what is the purpose of assessment? Why do we have assessment? What are the principles of assessment? Homeschooling roles and importance, the roles of the educator as a reflective practitioner, developing the thinking skills of learners in the 21st century. Remember, we are in the 21st century, and we need to develop the other kind of new thinking skills for us to be competitive in the global market. What skills do we need to empower our students or our learners in the 21st century? Corporal punishment on learners and learning. What is the advantage and the disadvantage of corporal punishment? Evaluating subject and the syllabus, cross-cultural characters, and moral education. However, the above-mentioned things that I have just mentioned should not limit you to study all other issues in the module. Read all the units in the preparation for the exam. Please pay attention to all the units in the study guide. Do not only study to memorize, but always try to understand. Contextualize the issue. Give practical examples. How do you understand? If they say, what is a curriculum? Put it in your simple words. You need to memorize, but memorize with understanding. Because give practical examples. Pay attention to the allocation of marks. If the question says, briefly explain what is the concept of curriculum, 10 marks. Don't just answer a sentence with 2 or 3 sentences or words. Pay attention to the allocation of marks. How much marks does this sentence attract? Be brief and straight to the point. I know a lot of students have a belief that the high or the number, the more you write many points, some points are not even making sense. Evaluate your sentence. Are they making? Be brief to the point. If you want to drive to Rehoboth, you don't go to Windhoek and then you go back to Okahanja and then you go back to Rehoboth. Be straight to the point. Be brief and straight to the point. Provide practical examples to earn more marks. I know many of us, we are teachers or we are maybe doing some other type of work. Try to provide practical example for you to be able to earn a lot of marks. Not really to say a lot of marks, but to earn more marks. Show the tutor or show the marker you understand. Provide the practical example. What are the challenges that are facing the curriculum implementation? For instance, it's textbook, underqualified teachers, lack of stakeholders involvement. Don't just say, don't just mention, but demonstrate, give practical example. You are a teacher, you are someone in the community. Provide practical examples to say this is how textbook, lack of textbook is hindering the curriculum implementation. Please explain more and show your understanding. I'm going to also give you some exam information. Now, remember when I said this information or this presentation is for exam preparation. It's going to be a 2-hour and 30-minute paper. So please, to avoid confusion and to avoid a lot of other issues, arrive on time to avoid confusions and handle your time properly. Use mark allocation for each question as a guide for how many facts needed. And pay attention to the questions. Mention, discuss, explain, identify, summarize, etc. Look at these verbs. If the question is say identify or mention five reasons for curriculum implementation, for instance, mention. You don't need to explain, just mention. Or the question says identify. If the question says discuss, you need to discuss, explain the issue. Don't just mention without explaining. Summarize. Look at the questions and also pay attention to the marks allocators as well. Answer all questions for the exam marks. Please read your instruction. If the question is saying answer all marks, answer all questions for the exam marks, answer all questions. Provide practical, I'm still repeating myself, provide practical examples to earn more marks. And I know, write neatly and eligible. Please look at your handwriting. Don't write like a doctor. I know we all struggling with our handwriting, but please try to write neat and eligible so that the tutor will be able to mark also neatly to identify your marks. Number your questions clearly. There's nothing wrong if you want to answer question 9 in the question paper as the first question. However, number it neatly, number it correctly and clearly for the tutor to be able to see that this is what is going on. Please contact us. We are all adults. We have responsibilities here and there. I'm available during after hours only. Please call me only after hours. You can call me between 1800 hours to 2000 hours. My contact number is 081 2333 033 081 333 by appointment only, or sometimes by appointment. If you're not able to call me 18 or 20, between 18 and 20 hours, you can actually make even an appointment to say, Miss, can I please talk to you at 10 o'clock? I'm very flexible. I don't need to be bossy or I don't need to be too much, but what I'm trying to advise, I'm flexible. So please, let's not SMS or text. Unless maybe you can say, Miss, can I please talk to you between today after 10 or after 11. However, I'm flexible, and you can also send me an email. My email is shietuwete@gmail. shietuwete@gmail.com. shietuwete@gmail.com. You can always send me an email to say, Miss, I'm struggling on this. How can I go about it? I'm struggling on that. How can I tackle this issue? And please, I'm available only between 1800 and 20 hours or by appointment. Study well and all the best in your academic endeavors. Please in conclusion, I would want to highlight that give special attention to the content of this contact class. Please, the themes that I have indicated that you should go through, even if you also have to go through the whole module, please pay special attention to them and also pay special attention to other issues in the module. Start preparation for exam earlier. Do not wait and do not procrastinate. I know we all procrastinate. I'm going to study tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to do this. Organize. organize and organize. You can even start to say, okay, by end of February, I want to finish module 1 to 5. Start preparation of your exams earlier. You can even start today. It's never too late, or it's never too early. Start today, because the earlier the better. Get acquainted with the work. Don't wait up until the last minute. I know many of you are going only to look at this session maybe later some other times. Get acquainted with the work. Familiarize yourself with the content. Read other sources just to understand. Set up group works for you to organize, and just kind of even WhatsApp group for you to ask each other questions and just correct one another here and there. Enjoy your studies and make it most. Relax, remain happy, and enjoy your work. Enjoy the curriculum study guide. Enjoy the curriculum implementation module as one of the very easiest and very enjoyable studies. And I wish you all the best for your studies. I thank you very much.